What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video we'll be looking at the Grand Mafia and I'll be showing you some of the tips and tricks to completing the puzzler. So this is one of the events where you come out and you basically have to sort of like match three of the same cards of some sorts together and finish off the entire board of cards. There's a few areas to basically focus and give you a higher chance of winning this or completing this challenge. And I will dive straight to it and give you some of the tips and tricks that I usually do. For the part puzzle, there are two phases. So the first one is basically like a trial where you only have to match 18 puzzle pieces together, and this is usually like 100% success rate. I don't think anyone could possibly fail this. So how it usually is that you can only click the one that is right at the top of the deck, and the one that is like shaded in gray is because it's covered by other things, you're unable to select it. So the aim is to make sure that you are able to clear the top cards first and also sort of predict or plan your next move, because some of the gray areas or some of the cards underneath you're able to see what it is, so you can plan how you want to put your three pieces of the same picture together and sort of like run the entire challenge. I want you to focus on the basically this level, and we have a total of 231 sort of pictures to match, and there are five very big areas that you need to focus and two very highly stacked areas. So I'll touch on the highly stacked areas first, which is the overhead disc on the left and the right. The main advantage and disadvantages of this card is that the disadvantage is that you don't really know what is underneath each of these picture cards, but the advantage is that you're able to sort of like gamble and you don't really know what is coming up, and sometimes you might really get pretty good picture cards that you need, but I would highly recommend you to quickly dwindle down these highly stacked picture cards up to at least like remaining quarter or fewer than a quarter. And the reason why you want to like just dwindle this amount is because it's a high gamble, and the later you complete, you have fewer options to choose from the available pictures around here, because as you continue playing the game and match more of these like pictures together, there are fewer and fewer top like card pictures that will appear, and fewer, basically fewer selections you are able to match the three of the same kind of pictures. So the second part I want you to focus is on five different areas. So basically it looks like a dice number five. You got one area here, top left, top right, middle, bottom left, and bottom right. They are the one of the main focal points that we want to try to clear up in a similar paced manner. And why I say a similar paced manner is because the issue with clearing one side too fast or the other side too little is that there are probably a lot of like grayed out cards or a lot of picture cards that are stacked right at the bottom, so you don't really know how far down it goes, and you might think that you cleared quite a bit of these like picture cards right at the top and dwindle down to a really small amount. But honestly, if you have completed this challenge before, you will know that especially for the middle left and the bottom left and the bottom right, there's a lot of hidden picture cards right at the bottom. So if you can't touch those bottom picture cards, you probably won't really have an opportunity to match three of the same picture cards, because a lot of these picture cards are hidden and you probably lose the game. So I highly recommend you to slowly clear up the 5 points at the same rate, but the more important areas to clear is the middle, the bottom left, and bottom right. The good thing about these three areas at the bottom here is that as you progress in the game, you are able there are more potential cards for you to choose from, just because on based on how these bottom three big pile of cards are being stacked. Later throughout this entire puzzle, I'll show you some of the cards or tiles that you should never touch unless you have used up your shuffle power. And yeah, I think because we have touched on the shuffle card power, I want to let you know the three different kinds of abilities or power you can use in this game. First is the shift card. So how shift card works is that shifts your first 3 tile back into this like middle area where all the tiles are at, so you have more room to build more three of a kind cards or more room to play with. Undo card is self-explanatory. When you click a card that you didn't want or you want to just take a peek at the bottom card, you're able to undo your previous move. So that is it. And what shuffle card basically does is that it shuffles the entire picture cards all around and just mix them up so that maybe you have a better option with the new shuffle deck or playing area. So that's the 3 main powers that you have. The most useful card is the shift card because you are giving yourself more chances to take out more of these, like you're able to excavate more of these cards and are able to form more three of a kind cards. So yeah, I will just show you how I play the game and let you know. I think there are like four to five different tiles where you should never touch until you use the shuffle card. Let me just show you how I play the game, and I will try to just match the cards at the top and mainly focusing on the main 5 areas: top left, top right, middle, bottom left, and bottom right. And also at the beginning, I also try to utilize as much as possible the stacked cards because I don't really want to keep too many of these like hidden cards, as down the road a lot of the 3 of a kind cards might be hidden or 2 of a kind cards, and then you are only left with like 1 of the same picture cards, but the other 2 picture cards might be hidden right at the bottom of the pile of cards. So that is what I do. So I'll just show you how I play the game. Oh yes, the first card that you should never touch is this whiskey card because this is the last card at the top shuffle. There's nothing underneath this card, so you should never use this whiskey card. This is a sweet hotspot area, one over here, and later when you clear more of these cards, there will be one at the left and the right, and yes, the bottom here. So I think that's 4. So this wine glass is also the same. There's no cards underneath it and it's not blocking any other cards. So if you notice, I could complete these 3 picture cards for the wine card, but I did not do so because this is basically a card that you should never touch, and it should only be used as an emergency card because what you need to do is basically to clear off the top tier cards so that you are able to move deeper and deeper into the card pile. And when you do that, you got more options and you're closer to winning the game. Also, what I want you to notice is this gift box. So once you complete 3 of these same gift box card, you're able to obtain some reward. But at the same time, this gift box is the rarest picture card of all. So if you got 1 or 2 of these gift box kind of like blocking your way, then it's a little bit of a disadvantage on you because quite rare to find this gift box in the card pile. Yeah, so if you look closely, I am just slowly depleting the 5 main piles: left, right, middle, and bottom left and bottom right. And yep, so you can see this 4 area. The 4 corners of the middle pile is the cards that you should never touch as well. Basically, like the card that is beside the stacked pile, you should not touch it. In the beginning, there will be about 2 to 3 cards that will be stacked up on top of this, but it's very obvious which of these tiles is the bottom. You will see that it's kind of like a standalone card. There are 6 cards that you should never touch until you click some of your powers to shuffle the card. The 6 cards is over here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that is the first tip, that you should never touch these cards to enable you to have a high chance of winning the game, because you will need as many face up cards as possible down the road when you don't really have a lot of options, and the shuffle card will hopefully give you some random luckiness in having some of the face up cards that you need, and you're able to sort of like clear your hand. And also a method that you can use is Sometimes if you notice the way I play, I will have one card over here, or I will pick a random card, but my aim is to finish a 3 of a kind card right by getting one of the hidden cards at the bottom, or one of the cards that have been blocked by a top card. So that is how I strategize and choose which card I can kind of sacrifice to be placed on my hand. So you are able to play around with an additional 4 cards in your hand, because you have a total of you can hold up to 7 cards in your hand. So you have 4 spaces to play around, and the last 3, make sure to just top it up and win it and finish it with 3 of the same picture cards. Only when you are sure that you are unable to complete any 3 of a kind set, then you would have to press the shuffle card. I always recommend you to press the shuffle card first, because you would be able to be given a new playing hand and not waste your shift card, because sometimes you might have quite a number of cards here, but when you click shuffle cards, you're able to see that you might be lucky and able to complete maybe 3 of these like wine bottles or 3 of the wine glasses. So that is a tip for you with the ability over here to use the shuffle card first, the shuffle card ability first. And the only reason why I'll use the undo card is on this big stack of cards to see what is beneath the top card. Yeah, so over here you can see that I'm probably thinking if I could possibly use the shift card soon. And as you notice, a lot of these like one tile cards, or like cards that are not blocking any cards, I saved it almost to the last point, and I try not to use it as much as possible until I use the shuffle card power, which I think I'll be using very soon because I'm running out of options. And a good gauge of when you should use the shuffle card so far is most of my games I probably use the shuffle card around the 40th to the 70th remaining cards pool. And if you have more than 70 or 80 cards and use the shuffle cards, you're probably not planning things well, because you probably have a lot of like these hidden grayed out cards, or like top cards that are blocking a lot of these like hidden cards at the bottom. So from there you know that you probably made a mistake, and you probably have to slowly clear off some of the piles more than the others. As you can see, I clear up my top right pile first, but most of the time the issue for players is that they're unable to clear up the bottom left, bottom right, and even the middle pile of cards. So this is exactly what it is now, but because the remaining cards is quite few and I still got the shift card power, there's no way I'm gonna lose this, because yep, 24 cards left. I'm sure that this will be an easy win. I could just sacrifice my shift card for more options to pick later on. Yep, like I'm doing it right now. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this is how I complete the puzzler challenge by not paying $5 to get more power-ups. Even though some of these cards are based on luck, but you can increase your probability of winning by following these tips. And yeah, victory on me. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys again real soon for the next video.